Hello and welcome everyone. Today I want to introduce you to the course of Safety Engineering. Let's begin with the syllabus. Now for the first week it's going to be an introduction about safety engineering, and why we are taking this course. For the second week we're gonna define what is a hazard and the types of hazards found in our workplace. Later on we will talk about the personal protective equipment and the safety gear that is used by laborers at any work place or site. At week 6 we will do the first exam. Most probably it will be on campus, unless we will state otherwise throughout the semester. Then we will differentiate between the types of hazards and the sources of each type. For example, we have the electrical hazards, mechanical, chemical, ergonomic hazards. We will discuss all these types of hazards and their sources, and then we will apply this knowledge to the construction and manufacturing industry. We will be able to discuss or detect the hazards found in any workplace, how to assess each hazard, how to deal with it or even mitigate it. So we will apply our knowledge all over these industries. Now, with respect to the exams, at week 6, as we mentioned, we'll do the first exam. The second one will take place during week 11. Now, originally we have allocated 25% for each exam and 10% for class participation. However, if you were not able to go back to campus, I will put this percentage back to the exams. So each exam will have a load or a weight of 30%, and the final exam will have 40% out of your total grade. Now let's begin with the first lecture. If I want to define safety, the classical definition of safety is the freedom of conditions that may cause death, injury, illness, damage to equipment, damage to the property, or even damage to the environment. So what will be the purpose of studying the safety engineering course is to reduce the rate of failures, and if failures does occur, it is or it should not be life-threatening. Let's first differentiate between the accident and the incident. The accident is undesired circumstances that will give rise to ill health or injury, damage to the properties, the product or environment. This also will cause some production losses and some liabilities. Now on the other side, the incident is undesired circumstances and near misses that could have caused an accident. The protection of people from harm has been a focus of many fields of engineering. However, the rate of accidents in some industries is considerably high. According to a study done in 2018, the construction industry accounted for 10% of work fatalities. So at that year, the number of fatal work injuries was 1,008. And for the manufacturing industry, the number was 343. So you see, the numbers are still high. 4.3 out of every 100 construction workers is injured each year. So that's why we are interested in safety engineering, to reduce the number of accidents that take place each year. So there's a need to prevent accidents, and there are three main reasons to prevent accidents. The first one is the moral or humane reason. Now, the moral consideration has developed because of massive numbers of accidental deaths and injuries in the past. For example, accidents of the nuclear power plant in Chernobyl, Ukraine, which led to the death of 10,000 people and the suffering of 3 million others. So the influential people around the world who knew the effects of accidents called for some corrective actions and new laws to safeguard and protect workers and also to protect the public. The second reason is that accidents costs organizations money. Since when accidents happen, work will stop, production lines will be shut down, so this is a huge loss to the organization. In addition to the immediate losses due to accidents, such as the damage of equipment and facilities that has to be repaired or even replaced. Now, the third reason is to reduce costs of lawsuits held by those injured or by the families of those who passed away if a major accident happened. So, when accidents occur, companies will then have to pay some compensations and insurance premiums as stated by the law. So, these are the main reasons to prevent accidents from happening in the first place. So you see that we have a huge cost related to accidents, and the indirect costs are far greater than the direct ones. The direct costs are just the tip of the iceberg, and it includes the costs that are already covered by insurance and the medical costs of the accident. However, we have huge costs associated with accidents and that are not covered by insurance. For example, loss of productivity of workers, especially after witnessing a certain accident. So this cost is not covered by insurance. For example, also when an accident happens, management would like to get additional supervision so that it would prevent future accidents. This is an extra administrative cost that is not covered by insurance as well. Moreover, management would like to make some investigations about the accident that took place in order to find out what's the reason and to prevent something like that of happening again in the future. So this is an extra cost and this is not covered by insurance. Also, if accidents happened and it resulted of an injury for some workers, management might have to replace those workers, so it will recruit and hire new employees, and in order to do that, some training must take place for the new workers. This is an extra cost. This cost is also not covered by insurance. There might be some damage to the product, the material, the equipment or the building, and this damage might not be covered by insurance. So this is an extra cost as well to the organization. So you can see we have major costs related to accidents, whether it's direct or indirect. So it's better for everyone to prevent the accidents from happening at the first place or reduce its occurrence. So you can see that safety is very important and we should always try to control the accidents as much as possible. That's why we're studying the safety engineering because this is going to be your role in any workplace to minimize the number of accidents, to control it. Yet most of industrial sites don't have a safety engineer, but this is extremely important to the safety of everyone. Moreover, we can still see that management doesn't care about the protective equipment that all the workers should wear. Management should also provide its laborers with personal protective equipment to ensure their safeties during their presence at the workplace. At least workers should be provided with some helmets to protect their head from injuries or from any impact earplugs when there is noise, some protective vests or clothes, safety gloves to protect their hands from heat or friction, eyewear, dust mask when dust is present, some protective boots to protect them from slippering or to protect their foot from any object that might fall with force and hurt their feet. So this is the least that the management should provide in order to ensure the safety of the workers. However, we don't see that the safety equipment is frequently available at sites and workplace. Maybe because management fear that it will be stolen or lost, or because management fear that these equipments or personal protective gear will interfere with the production of labors. However, it's extremely the opposite. It provides the minimum safety measures to make sure that the labor work safely during his presence at the site or the workplace. So that's why it's very important to wear the personal protective equipment. So this was an introduction to this course. Thank you for listening.